In the early hours of Sunday, September 2nd, 1666, a tiny spark lit up inside a small bakery on Pudding Lane. Within just 4 days, that single spark consumed over 80% of the City of London, destroying more than 13,000 homes, 87 parish churches, and the iconic old St. Paul's Cathedral. How did a simple baking accident turn into one of the most famous catastrophes in human history? Let's dive into the story of the Great Fire of London.
To understand why the fire was so destructive, you have to look at what London was actually like in 1666. First, the architecture. Most houses were constructed out of wood and thatched straw, completely coated in highly flammable pitch or tar. The upper floors jutted outward over narrow alleys, sometimes so close that neighbours across the street could literally shake hands out of their windows. Second, the weather. London had just suffered a blistering dry summer drought. And finally, the warehouses lining the River Thames were crammed full of combustibles, barrels of oil, pitch, alcohol, gunpowder, and coal. London wasn't just a city, it was a giant wooden tinderbox waiting for a spark.
That spark arrived in the bakery of Thomas Fariner, the royal baker to King Charles II. Fariner forgot to extinguish his oven properly before going to bed. Around 1 in the morning, embers ignited nearby firewood. Fariner and his family managed to escape out an upper window, but their housemaid sadly became the fire's very first victim. Driven by strong easterly winds, the flames quickly jumped from the bakery to neighbouring buildings.
In the 17th century, the standard way to stop a city fire was to pull down nearby wooden houses to create fire breaks. But when Lord Mayor Sir Thomas Bloodworth was summoned to inspect the scene, he refused to authorise the demolitions, famously dismissing the threat by stating, "Pish, a woman might piss it out." That hesitation proved fatal. By Sunday afternoon, the fire was completely out of control.
For 4 terrifying days, absolute chaos reigned. Thousands of panicked Londoners loaded their possessions onto wooden carts or rushed to the River Thames, desperate to hire boats at exorbitant prices to row to safety. By Tuesday, September 4th, the inferno reached its dramatic climax at Old St. Paul's Cathedral. People believed the cathedral's massive stone walls would protect their valuables, storing stacks of books inside. But the lead roof melted under the extreme heat, pouring down the streets like lava, and the cathedral crashed into spectacular ruins.
Seeing the city burning to the ground, King Charles II and his brother James, the Duke of York, personally took command. They ordered Navy troops to blow up entire rows of houses with gunpowder, creating massive fire breaks. Combined with a dropping wind on Wednesday, September the 5th, the fire finally lost its momentum and was put out. Amazingly, official records listed fewer than 10 deaths, though historians today suspect the actual death toll was much higher among the poor, whose bodies were entirely incinerated. Financially, however, it was devastating. Over 70,000 of London's 80,000 residents were left entirely homeless. Yet, from the ashes, London rebuilt itself. Under strict new building regulations, championed by architect Sir Christopher Wren, houses had to be built with brick and stone instead of wood. Streets were widened to prevent fire jumping, and the modern fire insurance industry was born.
The Great Fire destroyed the medieval city, but it laid the groundwork for the modern London we know today.
What historical event would you like us to cover next? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more bite-sized history breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.